So, you've probably seen this if you've been following me for the last year, but I feel like doing it again, but with better production values. You want some good Asian food, some seafood that's very light but very tasty? Look no further than some shrimp pad thai. We're going to be going back again to the Wanayuki Cheese Cafe to make one right here. So stick around. Precious bear juice.
Your picture of me and you. You wrote I love you. I wrote me too. I sit and stare at it, there's nothing else to do. Oh, it's in color. Your hair is brown. Your eyes are hazel and soft as clouds. I often kiss you when there's no one else around. I got your picture. I'd like a million of you all around myself. I want a doctor to take a picture so I can look at you from inside as well. You got me turning up and turning down, I'm turning in, I'm turning right, I'm turning Japanese. I think I'm turning Japanese, I really think so. Turning Japanese, I think I'm turning Japanese, I really think so. Turning Japanese, I think I'm turning Japanese, I really think so. Turning Japanese, I think I'm turning Japanese, I really think so. I got your picture, I'd like a million of them around myself. Oh.
Good evening everyone and welcome to another edition of the Wanayuki Cheese Cafe. So, in case this looks familiar to you, yes, I've used the turning Japanese gag with some Sapporo before, and in case you didn't even know that was an existing gag, well, you can always look at the top right corner here and see the inspiration for my madness. I want to recycle it, but with some better production values. So today, I want to put up a little bit of a shrimp pad thai for supper today. If you've been following me for a little while, you know I've already got a recipe, I've got an episode dedicated to that already on the channel. But let's face it, that was one of my earlier episodes, before I really knew how to edit my videos. And part of me wanted to go back to that so I can redo a recipe with my current production values so I can put a little bit more effort in it. And I thought, why not? It's a good excuse to entertain everyone yet again. And in case you haven't done this before, you might have had this in restaurants before, but if you want to make it at home, it's super basic, super easy to do. All you need is a few key ingredients, then you can do it yourself and hope that your beer doesn't explode on you. So let's empty this off and then let's go get started. Alright, so step one is you're going to have to start preparing your noodles, because that's, depending on the brand you get, is the part that's going to take the most amount of time. So what you need for your noodles is basic stuff. Just a pack of vermicelli rice noodles. And what you want to do is you want to get them kind of like medium or thick, just like a big noodle, nothing too thin. And how you prepare this is actually dependent on what it says on the packaging. Some brands are going to say that you just have to soak your noodles in cold water for a while, soak them in warm water, boil water, put it in for about 2 minutes. It's all going to depend. The important thing is actually soak them, so that they're not going to be as hard as a rock, or not too crunchy that it's not going to be very, shall we say, appetizing. But in this case, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to follow these instructions. Take back the noodles, and you're going to need like maybe, I would say 1 pound worth. And then you just add it in to your pot. According to this, it takes maybe about 6 minutes to soak. But just to be on the safe side, I'm going to keep it for a little bit longer. And as it softens up, I am going to just push it a little bit further to be able to give it a bit more room to maneuver. So that's something you could just, here, you just push this in like that, keep it aside, and then you can prepare the rest of your stuff. So while the noodles are going to be soaking, this gives you the perfect opportunity to get sauce. Now it doesn't mean to go get drunk while you're in the kitchen. That could be like a very bad thing that's going to happen. Now what I mean is this gives you a chance to prepare your pad thai sauce to be able to mix it with the rest of your stuff. So you're probably asking yourself like, what are you going to be using for it? It's actually a lot of basic ingredients. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to get yourself your brown sugar, and you'll be getting yourself about a good 2 tablespoons worth to throw inside. Yeah, you need brown sugar for this as a sweetening agent, apparently. But I guess you need some kind of sugar to take the bite out, because the rest of the stuff is going to be a little bit tart. For example, next thing you're going to need is some soy sauce. So that one is going to take about a good 2 tablespoons worth of it as well, give or take. And if you're going to be using your soy sauce, my suggestion is go for the low sodium one, because the regular one is going to have a lot of sodium in it. So low sodium is going to give you like less of a dosage of it. How much is in here? Ooh, 620 milligrams of sodium, and that's considered low to begin with. But hey, at least it's only half of the lethal dosage. 2 tablespoons of that, you know, you're going to die from a salt overload. I don't remember dying before. When did that happen? Anyways, after you're done with your brown sugar and your soy sauce, you need something to give it a little bit of kick. To do that, I'm going to be using sriracha sauce. And luckily you only need like 1 tablespoon worth of this stuff, because this could be super hot. If you don't have any sriracha here, you could probably use like tamari or some other kind of chili sauce, like just something to give it a bit of a spice. So 1 tablespoon worth. I'm going to start mixing this up before I get to the next liquid ingredients. And this will give me an opportunity to basically soak out the sauce from this thing. Sorry everyone, realized I forgot my beverage. Kind of important stuff to do when you're cooking. So again, once you start into that sriracha, you're going to go for your next ingredients. Going to be some lime juice. Yeah, I know, lime juice. You never would have thought. But I guess you need something bitter in here. So what you're going to need is about a good 1.5 tablespoons worth of this stuff. So 1 tablespoon here, and here's my 1/2 tablespoon, and I'm going to add that in directly inside. That'll give you your vitamin C with this stuff. Super healthy. And next is your final ingredient, which is fish sauce. They call this squid brand fish sauce, but they say it does not contain squid. And I've seen that a couple of times on these fish sauces too, like, what is the deal with them being against squid? I've never understood it. But you apparently need this kind of stuff in it. Yeah, this is basically like anchovy extract, I would say. Yep, anchovy extract with a bit of salt and sugar for good measure. Man, that's a lot of salt in this thing when you really think about it. So 1.5 tablespoons, and then that's good. Of course, everything's going to smell better when it's cooked and all blended in, but on its own, yeah, this stuff smells kind of nasty. I would probably be curious to like think to myself, what's this taste like on its own? I guess I'll give this a little taste test to find out. And wash that down. Yeah. So, word of the wise, do not drink squid sauce, or do not drink fish sauce on its own, because it's super nasty. That's my public service announcement for today. Do not imitate me. At least it's only the first time I've done this kind of taste test.
People like this shit?
Alright. Apple cider vinegar. Me trying that out to just see if all those health nuts out there saying doing a bit of that a day is supposed to be helpful. Frankly, I found it rancid. Can't let this lemon go to waste, can I? Ugh. Experimental carajillo, and next thing I know, I'm actually doing the phrase "go suck a lemon." Whatever. This is. I feel like that I'm gonna keep recording myself doing these stupid things, and then it's always gonna come back to bite me in the ass. Ah well, what can you do? As long as people are amused. So mix this up. Then once it's all blended together, keep it aside, and then you can go get started on the rest of your cooking. Actually, I need to work some noodle action in the kitchen because some of those need to be played around a little bit. We'll be right back. While those noodles continue to soak, it's time to get your pan prepared and all your other ingredients set up. So what you're gonna need is a giant skewer, a skillet, or like a giant frying pan here. Something like this is perfect for stir fries. And then you're gonna need some oil. Usually for this kind of cooking, you would use canola oil. And yeah, I know if you're one of those that follows the keto diet, you're usually supposed to stick to like olive oil, avocado oil, because those have like natural ingredients and don't have like bad oils. But honestly, for this kind of stuff that I'm making, the idea is that you don't want anything with a heavy flavor, because olives do taste kind of heavy. Avocados have a distinct flavor too. You just want something that's kind of lightly coated on here, so that nothing sticks, and has a very light flavor. Now, any of you in the comments section who does follow the keto diet, you could probably let me know and tell me, is there one that's actually keto friendly that you could do that kind of mimics the style of pad thai? So anyways, I've just put 3 tablespoons in here, because I'm going to be using this to cook all my vegetables and all of my shrimp as well. But first, I gotta prepare my shallots, or green onions. A classic from the Stax records. I love that. Now, you would need like maybe a good, I would say half cup of this. So I'm gonna go a little bit more generous, and I'm gonna take 4 stalks worth and then slice it up into little slices. Step 1, that will get the job done. These ends over here that have the roots, you just cut them off, keep them aside. Do that for all the stalks. Now, what you could also do is if you have any bad pieces left, you can just peel those off and then you're fine. But what you want from these is you want to, let's see if I can get a better shot on camera, because trying to cook when you're left-handed can be a challenge. I'm gonna admit that, especially when you're trying to work a camera with too. But anyways, you want to kind of cut it up so that it's around this size. And you keep doing that until all of your onions are chopped up. That's the last of the onions, so keep that aside, and then you're going to get to some garlic. What you're going to notice is that I moved my onion into a small bowl over here, mostly because I know I'm going to reuse this thing when it's time to serve my meal. The next step is to prepare some garlic. So what I got is, you're supposed to use like maybe a good 5 cloves in this, but I've got 6, maybe 7, because some of these were actually attached together. So you just want to mince this up, like so, into smaller pieces, like this. Skin over here. And yes, I'm overdoing the garlic a little bit because, like I've said constantly over this channel, I'm Ukrainian. We're kind of expected to have a good tolerance for garlic. It's in our bloodstream, you know? And I'm sticking to that as well. Just like I'm sticking to my onion on my belt routine. Yeah, newcomers, if ever you want to figure out what the hell I'm talking about, then click on the top right corner. I had that in my last episode on milliliter risotto as a gag. Okay, so then once this is all minced, you keep this aside, and you can prepare your last ingredient, your shrimp. Now, you need about a good 1 pound of shrimp to do this properly, but there is a method to this also that I learned in the last little while. What you could do like me and get the shrimp that's already been peeled and the tail off, so you have minimal work to do. And then what you want is thaw your shrimp out in cold water so you can avoid any potential food poisoning, apparently. So it means I've been doing this wrong for years. I just ran it in warm water, thawed out quickly, and then cooked it up. I've never gotten sick, but I figured I'd do it properly. So let's see. Oh yeah, we got a big block of ice here. So, I'm just going to drain the water, and I'm going to fill it up with water once again. And then hopefully that does the trick to thaw this out. Oh yeah, it's working some of the ice away. So keep with that, and then once your shrimp is all thawed out, then you can start with the cooking process. So yeah, this is a case of once your prep work is done, it's really quick to cook. Beauty, isn't it? Now, all of my shrimp has been defrosted in the cold water, so next thing I'm going to do is start heating up your pan. Put it on to medium-high heat. Then once it gets to the right temperature, throw in your onion and your garlic at the same time, stir them up, and then we're going to work our way around. Okay, noodles are getting pretty soft still. Keep working at that. Onion and garlic are added in. So your goal here is you just want this to be lightly cooked, and you can tell when the garlic is starting to get a little bit translucent or partially see-through that you're pretty good. You don't want to overcook your garlic in this case. So once it's translucent, that's when you add your shrimp. And this probably takes like maybe, I would say, 5 minutes tops. And of course, when you're cooking this, keep it rotating with a spoon, because if you don't do that, you risk burning and overcooking your ingredients. Move this around, let it evenly cook, distribute it, and not let it get too overcooked as you're frying this up. Okay, this is looking fine. So next step will be to add your shrimp. Shrimp is really easy to cook. You just put it in, and then make sure it's done really well pink. And once it's pink, you know you're good. But I did learn that there is such thing as overcooking your shrimp. And I guess it's a little bit like when you cook calamari. If you overcook it, it's going to have a very rubbery texture, which is not very appetizing. You can cook it, but you don't want to overdo it. You still want to be somewhat juicy. Oh yeah, while that thing is cooking, my noodles look like they're softened as much as they're going to be, so it's time to drain them. So, yeah, I'm not going to teach you how to drain noodles. I think if you don't have a modicum of a common sense on how to cook, you know how to do it. So it looks like it's been done pretty well. So this I'm just going to keep aside, and then once all my shrimp is cooked, we're going to add the noodles in. And then that's going to take like maybe a good minute, just so it blends in with the juices, with the oils, and then softens up a bit. Then after that minute, you can add your sauce, and then that's when the sauce is going to bind to everything else. Ooh, can't abandon it. So everything is well blended in here. Noodles, sauce, shrimp, everything else is good to go. You only have one ingredient left to do to prepare all this. It's going to be your bean sprouts. The recipe I found online says you only need like half a cup. I got a full bag of it and I figured, well, let's just make it easier and dump the whole thing in and then let it cook. There's no harm in doing that. It's going to let it blend in with the rest of the sauce. Stir that in until it's softened up. And then, once that's done, you're ready to serve. So now, the bean sprouts are softened up just enough. So it's time to cut the heat, take this off, and then this can be served properly to everyone. And there's more stuff you can do to dress this up too. Like one of my favorite things I like to do is I like to top it off with some sesame seeds. Depending on who you talk to, you could also slice up some basil and then throw it onto here for a good flavor. But it's all relative. Everyone's got a good way of doing this. So I'll just get this plate going, do the taste test to make sure it's fine, and then we'll be right back. Possibly with a new ration too. So, as promised, I did manage to find another ration for myself that I'm going to use with my supper. So, one of the benefits of doing random wanders in Montreal is that there's a lot of microbreweries that sell them in these independent shops that you can't really get in my neighborhood too. And sometimes they're exclusive there, you always discover brand new ones. So what I found was something from the 5e Baron Microbrasserie, or the 5th Baron microbrewer, in case you don't understand French. And I had to pick this up just because of the label, because this thing is called Hippie Rock Double New England IPA, and it's an 8% fucker, so it's definitely on the strong side too. But it's a good way to kind of relive the Woodstock of the past. And I'm talking the good Woodstock, not the 90s Woodstock. That could just go fuck off for all I care. You got your tie-dye, you can just get into the mood, get your incense and peppermints going, and give yourself the courage to go up to some lady at the Tam Tams on Mount Royal and just go ask her, what's your name? Who's your daddy? Is he rich like me? Wait, what? Oh, I forgot. That lyric from the Zombie song, that is actually a lyric. Come on. Hippie or no hippie? That's one of the worst pickup lines ever. But this is going to be my final ration tonight, as I'm going to be enjoying my pad thai and maybe indulging in my incense and peppermint side. So before I do that, thanks for watching this edition of the Warnayuki Cheese Cafe. So if you like what you see, don't forget to hit that subscribe button below and give me a thumbs up if you love my antics. And if you have any other requests for wanders, recipes, and whatnot, leave it in the comments section below. Until then, take care everyone, see you next time.
It's the time of the season when love runs high. In this time, give it to me easy and let me try with pleasured hands to take you in the sun to promised lands, to show you everyone it's the time of the season for loving. What's your name? Who's your daddy? Is he rich like me? Has he take us anytime?